A major bank in Mumbai once deployed a fancy AI system to approve personal loans, thinking they were being hyper efficient. But after 3 months, they realized the system was systematically rejecting applicants from a specific neighborhood regardless of their actual credit score. The machine had learned prejudice from old biased historical data. This is what we call algorithmic bias, and in the world of ISO/IEC 42001, it is the first major red flag. By definition, it is a systematic and repeatable error in a computer system that creates unfair outcomes. In simple terms, it is when the machine learns the bad habits of its human creators and makes them a rule. You have probably seen this at the office where a new tool feels off or keeps making the same strange mistakes. That is usually a lack of governance. As auditors, we don't just look for bugs, we look for the process the company used to catch these biases before they went live. So now that we've mastered why bias is the silent killer of AI trust, you might be wondering how an organization can actually prove it is managing these risks. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the architecture of accountability. Picture a massive smart city project in Delhi where an AI controls the traffic lights to reduce congestion. One afternoon, the system glitches, causing a 3-hour gridlock, and suddenly no one can find the person who has the authority to manually override the code. The software engineers point to the data scientists, and the data scientists point to the city planners. Nobody is in charge. This is a total breakdown of accountability. The standard defines it as the requirement that an organization must clearly define roles, responsibilities, and authorities for AI systems. Simply put, there must be a neck to wring when things go sideways. It is like having a captain on a ship. If the ship hits an iceberg, you don't need a committee meeting to figure out who is responsible for the rescue boats. When we audit, we aren't just looking for a fancy software license. We are looking for an organizational chart that says exactly who owns the AI's decisions. So now that we have mastered the importance of defining who is in charge of our digital pilots, you might be wondering how we keep these systems from hallucinating or going rogue in the first place. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the reliability and safety framework. Consider a healthcare facility in Chennai that started using AI to predict patient readmission rates. The AI was so focused on identifying quote-unquote high-risk patients that it started recommending that certain patients be discharged early, ironically leading to more medical complications later. The system was quote-unquote reliable in that it worked every time, but it wasn't quote-unquote safe because the goal was wrong. In ISO 42001 terms, reliability and safety mean the system performs its functions accurately under specific conditions without causing harm. Think of it like a car's brakes. If your brakes work perfectly, but they are designed to stop the car instantly at 100 km per hour every time you touch them, they aren't safe. As auditors, we look for the quote-unquote guardrails, the limits placed on the AI so it doesn't cross the line from helpful to harmful. You have probably seen this where an AI chatbot gets a bit too aggressive in its sales pitch. We have to teach the machine to know when to stop. So now that we've mastered the art of building guardrails into our AI, you might be wondering how we handle the quality of the information fueling these decisions. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is data governance and transparency. Imagine a retail giant in Bangalore using AI to forecast inventory for the upcoming festival season. They fed the AI data from a year when the supply chain was totally broken due to a freak storm. Because the AI took that bad data as gospel, it ordered millions of products that nobody wanted, costing the company millions. This is a classic case of poor data quality leading to a strategic failure. The standard defines data governance as the set of policies and practices for managing the availability, usability, integrity, and security of data. Translation: if you feed the machine trash, it will give you trash results. It is like trying to bake a cake with spoiled flour. It doesn't matter how expensive your oven is, the cake will taste bad. We need to audit not just the AI, but the life cycle of the data it consumes. We need to know where the data came from, how it was cleaned, and if it is still relevant. So now that we've mastered the importance of a clean data diet, you might be wondering what happens when these systems face an unexpected challenge they weren't trained for. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is incident response and resilience. Think of an automated trading platform in Pune that suddenly encounters a market crash that is unlike anything it has ever seen. The AI panics, starts selling off stocks at rock bottom prices, and causes a mini recession within the company's portfolio. The company had no kill switch and no manual protocol for extreme volatility. Resilience is defined as the ability of the AI system to resist, adapt to, and recover from disruptive events. Simply put, it is the panic button and the recovery plan you have in your back pocket. It is the fire drill for your software. I once worked with a firm that had a brilliant incident response plan. When their system acted up, they switched to a human-only trading mode within seconds, saving their capital. As auditors, we aren't just looking for the AI's features, we are looking for the OOPS protocol. So now that we have mastered the art of failing gracefully and bouncing back, you might be wondering how we turn these lessons into a permanent part of the business. Well, that brings us right into our next step, which is the culture of continual improvement. A legendary sports team in Kolkata doesn't stop training after they win a championship. They look at the game footage, analyze where they almost tripped, and change their playbooks for next season. This is exactly what ISO 42001 expects from an organization. Continual improvement is the ongoing effort to enhance the effectiveness of the AI management system. It is a simple realization that technology and society will keep changing, so our governance must change with them. It means taking the major failures we've discussed, the bias, the lack of ownership, the data errors, and turning them into lessons that make the next version of the AI even safer. When you audit a company, you aren't looking for perfection. You are looking for that cycle of growth. If you find a team that is constantly learning from its mistakes rather than hiding them, you have found a truly compliant team. It has been a pleasure diving through these case studies with you, and I look forward to seeing you take these auditor skills into the real world.